Okay, so we're going to have a look at some of the customers that have eBGP sessions into the cloud. Now these customers really are sort of part of the main cloud, very similar to the customers in the data center. Okay, so these are connecting with native BGP on variations of either IP version 4 or IP version 6 BGP sessions, and in some cases IP version 6 being carried inside IP version 4. So we have some various policies that we want. The policy that stands out the most is the fact that we want a prefix limit of 20 on the unicast packets. So set protocols BGP group, customer 3.1, family iNet unicast, prefix limit maximum 20, and tear down idle timeout 5. And that means if it goes over 20, for protection we want the BGP session to be torn down and for it to stay down for 5 minutes. And we want that on both the iNet and the iNet 6 unicast in this particular setting. So we've got a couple of other policy type features that we want. We want damping on. This is basic damping, so that simple keyword will turn damping on. Set protocol BGP group C3.1 damping. Now at the bottom here we want some more aggressive damping, and we have an extra policy here. So we have damping on for the default damping, and then import damp aggressive. And that policy we're going to look at in a couple of screens time, and it's the way to get more granular damping control. Okay, so what else do we have here? Well, router 2 has got an iNet 6 address, and this is a v4 mapped style address. Notice that we've got colons here, but actually periods or full stops here. Now it won't let you put these in until you have set system allow v4 map packets, but you need to be quite careful because they're not the same. It really does matter what you type here. Okay, so what we're doing here is we want to be carrying IP version 6 inside the IP version 4 BGP session. Now we've looked at this at great length in Superlab 2 and also in the chapters. What we're doing here is that on the interface from router 2 to the customer 3, we have the iNet 6 address, the v4 map packet, directly on the interface. And what that means is that on the BGP single v4 session with single v4 neighbor, that family iNet 6 unicast, when that's carried inside the v4 session, the next hop from customer C3.1 will be this v4 mapped address. And the reason is, of course, that it's tunneling the route. It needs a next hop. It's not able to go down and look at the interface, and it's actually taking the .10 or the 010, which is the C3.1 end, and turning that into an IP version 6 address. So by having that address here on the interface, that will naturally resolve, and that's good to go. IP version 6 routes inside the IP version 4 BGP. When we come down to router 3 here, we are connecting to C2.1, and what we're doing here, which is slightly, the difference here, is we've got two VLANs here, two sub-interfaces, different IP version 4 ranges. We've got a static route pointing to the loopback on C2.1. And that means that obviously we can load share on this BGP session because we're going from a local address, which is a loopback, to a neighbor, which is a loopback. It's multi-hop, of course. And again, we're running the damping, the log up down, and the unicast prefix limit max of 20. Okay, and then the final one is on R5. It's C11, which is down here. And what's slightly unusual about this one is that we've got this aggressive damping, and that policy we're going to look at later. So there we have it. We have customer C1, C2, C3. They're connected into the core in a similar way to the data center. Notice that later we're going to be running VPNs, and at that point our customers will be denoted CE1. So this is C1, C2, and C3.